from Star Studios in Denison, Texas, this is Coffee with a Sign Painter, a weekly podcast hosted by sign painter Sean Starr that consists of interviews with other sign painters and some of the customers and characters Sean comes across while running his studio.
Welcome back to Coffee with a Sign Painter. This is Sean Starr, and this is the show. And today I am speaking with Vanessa Powers of Signs of Power in Dublin, Ireland. And she is our first lady friend guest on the show. So we will be talking about all sorts of things related to her journey of becoming a sign painter and some of the things she experiences. And so we will be talking to her, and she's also going to be joining us in Limerick in September for the Elemental Arts Festival that will be working with Tom Collins and Simon Robinson and Peter McCullen and a host of others. But let's go ahead and meet Vanessa and find out what makes her tick, and here we go. So why don't you tell me what you were just talking about with the flea market? That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, okay. I have a stall at the flea market in Dublin. It's called a Dublin Flea. So I have lots of wooden signs, and they're kind of taking up my spare room, or my studio where I work. It's kind of a little box room, so I'm hoping to get rid of as many as I can on Sunday. I'm just painting some more smaller signs today, just individual letters. Just thinking maybe people will like them. I don't know. If nobody buys anything, at least I'll have practiced painting some more, and I'll have gotten the word out maybe. Yeah. And it'd be good to, I don't know, kind of show off some work, I guess, and maybe just shine a light on it, I guess. I don't know.
What are those signs? Are they like phrases, or is it more decorative artwork, or what is it?
They're just words, basically, that I've been practicing. Just different techniques or different letters or that kind of thing. So not really phrases. I think there's one or two phrases. I tend to just pick one word or one letter. I don't know why, but I guess I don't really have any inspirational phrases or things to say. Not yet, anyway. So,
no. So how long have you been painting signs?
Just coming up to a year now.
Okay, so you're fairly new at it.
Yeah, I'm very new. Yeah.
Cool.
But I love it, and it's definitely what I want to do. I want to keep at it.
What drew you to wanting to do it?
Well, I was very unhappy in my job and my career, and I just felt I needed a change, and I was trying to figure out what to do. And then I kind of always had an interest like in lettering, and I would always kind of go onto my fonts and copy letters and words and draw out stuff. And I worked in design before, and I always liked the logo side of things. And then I kind of liked I thought like logos and signs pretty similar in the small design problems, just like a few words. Or so I kind of looked into sign jobs, kind of hit a load of brick walls and no replies of emails. So I kind of, my dad was in signs as well, so I went back to his old company, and they didn't have any work either. So I thought maybe I'd go into a course. So I saw there was a sign writing course, and then that just kind of snowballed the sign painting route. So I signed up for that course, but it's been pushed back. So it was meant to start last August, so it's been delayed now till September.
Course? Who's doing it?
It's a course in Dublin by FOSS. They do like job seekers courses.
Okay.
And it's just a sign writing course for 6 months. It's meant to be a good course. Tom did the one in Cork. I think that's maybe a better one, but
do you know, have you seen Joby Carter's courses that he does? You familiar?
Oh yeah, but that's in England.
Oh, so that's not really an option?
Not really.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, I don't know. I'm over here, and I have no idea how things work over there.
Okay, that would involve getting a plane and stuff like that.
I see. Okay. So you're up in Dublin and Tom Collins is in Limerick. How far is that from each other?
It's about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw on your Instagram feed that you had worked on like a tattoo shop or something with Tom.
Oh yeah, that was actually the first day I met Tom. We were chatting in his studio, and then he said he had a job to do, and he asked me to help him back up the goal leaf. He was working on that tattoo, the love-hate tattoo place in Limerick. So that was fantastic to get that opportunity, and I was so nervous because it's first time I met him and first time really doing anything like that for somebody. So I was trying to hide it as much as I could, but that was a really good experience, and Tom's been great. I've learned a lot from him. He's been very generous with his time and his knowledge, and he's been very encouraging. So I feel very lucky to have crossed paths with him. So
I'll share a secret with you. That all sign painters carry with them.
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear.
None of us know what we're doing. So you never have to be worried because we're all faking it, and we all steal tricks from each other, and it's basically just a big bag of tricks. And most of us on a daily basis just scratch our head and try to figure out how in the world to get something done because this. I've said it before, like you can never learn how to do this.
Okay, that's good. You never graduate. Do you have something to learn?
No. You can be 80 years old and still be like, "Holy cow! How did that work? Who did that?" So
that's comforting to hear.
It's not as intimidating as it seems. I think it's just you slowly, incrementally get a little bit better, and you learn some tricks, and then along comes somebody that does something so amazing that you feel like quitting. And then you pick yourself up off the floor and you keep going. It's just a process.
Okay, and have you come across many of those people?
Over the years I've come across. It seems like it happens once every couple of years. I'll end up working on a project with somebody, or just somehow involved, and you just want to die. There's a guy named John Arnott. He's down in San Diego. And I needed some help on some projects when we were out near L.A. and got hooked up with him through another mutual friend. And, he's probably in his 70s, early 70s at that point. And he would just whip out a brush and do things that just made you want to quit. But he was always very gracious and helpful, and I miss working with him because he was a lot of fun. He's not dead. I'm saying it like he's dead. He's just in another state, so I don't get to work with him anymore. But he's alive and kicking.
You might get to work with him again. I'm sure you have. You've had that effect on others too. That after they worked with you, they thought you were so great that they wanted to quit. So maybe it works both ways.
Maybe it does, but I don't see it that way. I just feel like I'm constantly an amateur. So, but what are you going to do? Maybe I just have low self-esteem. So you are a woman sign painter. I
am.
You are the very first female sign painter interviewed here on my little show here.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So,
first of many, I hope.
Yeah, well, Norma Jean Maloney is, she's down in Austin area. She's going to come on the show, but our schedules keep not working together. But I'm curious, do you run into any weird issues, like any issues like, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that? I mean, I have no idea.
Not at all. It's actually been quite the opposite.
Okay.
There's been so many people who want to help. At the last job, I'm still kind of working on a bit for this grocery shop. It's called Lots & Co. in Dublin 4. So I started painting in there while the builders were still there. I was doing the front fascia and the glass and the tiles and doors and windows, everything, the whole place. And they were so accommodating and helpful to me. It was unbelievable. And I was talking to one of my friends, and he was saying, I was like, they're so nice, and they're doing everything for me, like cleaning everything around me. And he was just laughing. He's like, Vanessa, that's only because you're a woman. If that was me painting on the job, they wouldn't come near me. They wouldn't help me at all.
Awesome.
So I don't know, it's been great. And even like with the scaffolding. There was one guy I had to stand beside me for the whole day where I was painting outside because they say use health and safety regulations.
Okay.
I felt terrible. He was just standing there for the whole day, but it was great because I was nervous on the height, so it's nice to have him beside me.
There you go.
But but even the foreman, like they were just I can't praise them enough. They were so helpful. So quite the opposite.
Well, very good. That I've noticed over the years. My wife helps me here in the studio, and coming across other sign painters. A lot of their wives will work with them or help them on jobs, and I think that women have a superior ability with this type of work because I don't know. That's just been my experience. I think that women are probably more detail oriented than most guys. So I've just that's been my observation. Maybe I'm sounding like a dinosaur myself for observing that, but that's it.
Well, you see that. So I wonder why there are so few women sign painters then.
I don't know. I think that now that there's kind of the resurgence, renaissance of it, I think that that there are more women interested in getting involved in it, and I think it would be a wonderful thing. Bring a lot of. I think it would bring a whole new excitement into the design aspect of things as well, because women would have, I would think, a different aesthetic than most guys. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Your work's very colorful and kind of playful and kind of bouncy. I think that's definitely a feminine touch that's nice.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I guess I'd try to put a bit of my personality into it. I really like Dirty Bandits. I know if you've heard of her, Anise Lindenberg, is it? Or Leiden? Excuse me, whatever her surname. But I really like her work. She's got great personality and her slogans, and it's quite dirty. It's funny.
Yeah.
She's cool. And there's another sign painter in London, Daisy Emerson. I think she's in London, actually. She does some lovely work too.
I'm not familiar with her.
Okay, yeah. She's on Instagram. She's got quite some nice stuff. So there's a few of us out there, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So what kind of challenges are you having with, having been doing it for about a year now? Like, what are you struggling with, do you think?
I guess the glass side of things, I just don't think I've practiced that enough. Mm-hmm. I find that very difficult. The paper in front of the glass, and then I forget the glass there, and I kind of hit the glass kind of before I think I'm going to the paper, that kind of thing, and then also the brush kind of goes faster on the glass. I kind of have less control. So anyway, I'm just the last few times painting on glass, I just haven't really been happy with the result. But I just need a lot more practice. So I need to, after this market, I'm just going to scrap the wood and just going to try and practice more on glass.
That's what I always tell people that are getting started, is to just practice on glass, because it's so much harder that if you can make it look good on glass, when you go to paint on wood, it's breeze.
Okay, that's a good tip. Yeah. And
you can scrape it off as you go, so it's you can use the same piece of glass 1,000 times. Oh yeah. Okay. What I usually do is have somebody I'm training tape a pattern on the back side of the glass, and then they can just leave the pattern there, and they can paint that over and over and over again, and just scrape the paint off without damaging the pattern, because it's on the other side of the glass. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do that then. And what kind of thickness glass is, or just regular? Because sometimes the piece of glass like I have at home is probably a bit too thick, but I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, could you even get like picture frames and use that glass?
I think that's usually too thin. I think you'd be at risk of breaking it when you scrape the old paint off. Most of the glass that we do, like I'm working on a gold leaf piece for a tattoo shop right now here in the studio, and it's we use 1/4 inch glass. I don't know what the equivalent in metric would be, but we use that kind of as the standard for any of the art pieces that we do is 1/4 inch, because it's rigid enough that it doesn't flex and bow as you're trying to work on it.
Okay, I'll have a look at that for it. So thanks. Another thing is the gold leaf. That's a whole new realm I have to look into next. I had one practice go. It was pretty funny. Like, the gold just went everywhere other than the glass. It was in my hair. It was just like, yeah. So
it is a tricky process. It's I still, every single time, I feel like I'm fumbling through it, and I've done a lot of it, and I just feel like it's just so delicate and so, like you said, I mean, even the slightest breeze will just pick it up and take it away, and it's definitely a very challenging process, but as you know, it's also one of the most rewarding because it just looks incredible when it's done.
Well, I haven't got to that stage yet because mine looked a complete mess. So, but yeah, it was funny because Pete was saying that, he was asking me, was I holding my breath when I was doing it? And I was like, yeah. He said, if you pass out, that means you're doing it wrong. So I thought that was funny. But
I actually, I was talking to an old timer guy about this a few years back, related to pinstriping on cars, but the same applies, I think, is if you observe some of the older guys when they're doing the really detailed work, whether it's pinstriping or gold leafing, there's a rhythm to their breathing. It's really interesting. Because if you hold your breath like completely, then that's going to, tense your muscles up, and you're not going to be able to, get flowing curves like with pinstriping. And if you're breathing too heavily, that's going to affect it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting if you get to watch somebody in person doing that really highly kind of detailed work. You can see them breathing in a rhythm, whether they're aware of it or not. They're doing it. It's pretty interesting.
It is interesting. I'll have to find somebody now and get really kind of go over their shoulder and try and watch them breathing. That might think I'm a bit weird, but anyway.
So are you going to be, I know that Tom mentioned that you're going to participate in the art exhibit in Limerick for the arts festival that we're coming out for. Are you going to be coming down to help with any of the murals or anything that we're going to do?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be around for as much of it as I can. So I'm not too sure exactly what I'll be helping out with, but I don't know if I can muck in with everything or if there's specific things. I know Tom had said that I think I'll be painting a big hug. So, or not just me, but other people. And I think I'll just be drafting that up. But definitely would love to join in with you guys, whatever you're getting involved with too, and learn a few of these tricks of the trade that you have up your sleeve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're gonna mostly be winging it. I mean, we've got some set things that we're gonna accomplish, while we're there. But Tom and I talked about this early on of just wanting it to be, for one, very inclusive to any of the other sign painters that want to come. But, to not get so bogged down with the details that, it's stale. It's kind of like a big jam session for musicians.
Oh, great. No, I can't wait. Well, then I'm going to be involved with everything as much as I can. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, really I know that, is it Peter McCullen? He's up in Dublin as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Tom mentioned that he's going to be displaying a bunch of really awesome gold leaf type glass artwork. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. We've also been hearing about some others around the globe that'll at the very least be contributing some artwork. I know Josh Luke at Best Dressed Signs, who I've stayed in contact with for several years now. I guess he's going to be sending some stuff over. And yeah, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really good. I actually was out to Peter McCullen's place in Drogheda and saw a lot of his glass signs that he has up there, and they're just fantastic. So he's got a treasure trove of stuff to bring down, so that'll be really good.
Awesome.
And Peter's been a great help too. You know, he's been giving me loads of tips and been meeting up with him. So I've actually been lucky having met Pete and Tom. They've been really great.
How big is Dublin? Like, how many people?
I don't know, about 3 million, I think.
3 million? And how many sign painters are you aware of that are there?
In Dublin, I know 2 others.
Okay.
Yeah. There isn't that many.
Not that many, then, huh?
Which is pretty good for me because I'm getting some work.
There you go. Hey, capitalize on that.
Yeah, big time. And I actually just got word this week that I have a new job for one of the theatres in Dublin. They're renovating their whole new cafe, and it's going to be a big job. I'll be on for a couple of weeks, so nice. I'll be starting that. Yeah, so I'm really excited. So that's good.
Well, that's good. Now you'll have play money to go down to Limerick.
Exactly. Yeah. Buy more paint.
There you go.
And brushes. Yeah. So how long are you going to be in Ireland for?
10 or 11 days.
Oh, it's a long trip. Great. And are you going to stay in Limerick for the whole time, or are you going to travel around, or?
You know, we've talked about that, and my wife and I keep coming back to, we're probably going to stay close to Limerick and just try to like really get a feel for, you know, everything that's not touristy, you know?
Okay.
And just kind of get a feel for what it's like to live there, as opposed to, you know, just getting on a bus and touring around or whatever. I mean, there's plenty to see, I'm sure. I mean, we could probably spend 2 years and not see everything in Ireland that we'd want to see, but, you know.
Pretty small, so you can see a lot in a short space of time. But since you're west, so it might be nice to even go to Galway. It's really beautiful around that. Well, Limerick's nice too, but, you know, but sure, anyway, you'll see when you get there. Yeah,
I mean, this is totally uncharted territory for both Kaylee and I. You know, neither of us have been overseas, so this is going to be a pretty neat thing to experience for sure.
It'll be an amazing trip, and hopefully it won't be your last trip to Ireland.
Yeah, that's well, our passports are good for 10 years, so who knows.
Oh, great.
But it's nice too, because in the whole process, you know, Tom and I have become pretty good friends through dozens of Skype conversations and emails, and you know, it's really cool to be working on putting this thing together, even though we're separated by that many miles. But just, you know, making new friends and you know, getting, like, even just getting to know Tom and starting to see his aesthetic and style. The more work I get to look at of his, and vice versa, you know, I think it's a unique exchange among sign painters that you probably don't get in most even creative trades. I think the only other thing that would probably be close, in my opinion, would be, you know, musicians probably have that same interchange of sharing styles and things.
Yeah, there seems to be a great camaraderie in the sign painting community, you know, of sharing knowledge, and, you know, it's not like everyone's kind of holding on to it. It's like, oh, I don't want to tell you because, you know, do you know, sometimes you kind of come across that?
Yeah, and it used to be that way. You know, when I was young and was just starting to get started working with my dad's company, there were still some old-timer guys back then that just, some of them would intentionally tell you how to do something incorrectly to, like, discourage or mess you up. But that I think those guys died off, because I haven't run into that since. But yeah, I mean, now I think that there's so many of us that kind of weathered the storm of trying to stay artistic, even though computers, you know, were dominating everything, and we still tried to maintain, you know, the handwork in some form before the kind of renaissance that occurred. So I think that is part of it is, I think we're much more willing to share than the guys before us because we saw it almost go out, and disappear. So we're like, hey, you want to learn this? Here's what you do. So.
Yeah, no, because I've really been on the receiving end of that. It's been lovely.
Yeah, that's great.
Really lucky, and even the people on Instagram, leaving tips and advice on how they've done things, and it's been really, really great. So it's kind of been really kept me going with it. It's been really encouraging. So
well, that's good. That's good feedback to share because I think sometimes. We can get so busy that we don't think about that some of those things are actually very helpful, but it's good to know that that's having that effect, that our time isn't wasted when we do try to help.
No, certainly not. Not from my experience anyway. Yeah, so thanks to everybody.
Very good. Yeah. So this is the most important question of the show. What's on your iPod this week? What have you been listening to?
Oh, well, only just today I discovered Leon Bridges. Is that his name? I think I'm probably the last person. But
everybody's talking about that guy. I haven't heard him yet, but I've seen the album cover. It looks really cool. It's like old 60s retro soul kind of a thing, but I haven't heard him yet. I need to seek him out.
Yeah, he's a beautiful voice, and it's got that real old style. I think it's recorded in analog too, so it kind of sounds old and a bit grainy. It's lovely.
Awesome.
Yeah. And what else today? I don't know. I kind of I actually can't think of anything else. But I kind of would listen to a bit of folk music, I guess, like Arno Wine and Ray LaMontagne and I Am Oak and So
like modern folk then.
Yeah. And would Nick Drake be folk? He's old. Well,
who?
He was Nick Drake. I think he was 70s.
Nick Drake. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not familiar with him.
Anyway, he's nice. He's kind of like soothing. But that's it really. There's loads. I'm just looking at a lot of the time I just go to Spotify and like pick an artist and then play artist radio and then listen to that for the day.
Yeah, I do that a lot too.
You never really get a bad song on it, really. So.
Yeah, I'm the proud owner of a new but old turntable. There's a designer in Dallas that we've done a few projects together, or he's referred us on a few, and he had some work he wanted done on some pieces of his motorcycle, so he swapped me for a nice, fully rebuilt turntable. So I'm going to immerse myself in vinyl soon.
Do you have lots of vinyl?
I have none.
Oh, okay.
So, but
let's get a Smith's record to play on that. So
there you go. So now I've got my work cut out for me. But I'm excited because I haven't had a record player since I was probably a teenager. So this will be kind of a fun thing to pursue as a little side interest.
It's a nice new toy for yourself. Those markets probably would have vinyls. Or do you have vinyl stores around where you are?
From what I've seen, most of the music stores are starting to stock vinyl again, but it's kind of the stuff you'd expect, like, Led Zeppelin album or something. But I really like old jazz, and I really like, there's a type of music that was popular down in this area called Western Swing. So Bob Wills, a lot of that style of music. I think I can probably find a lot of that around where I live because there's people that bought that stuff, when it came out originally, that probably have it at garage sales and things around here that I could pick up. Mm-hmm. So, but we will see. I'll be on the hunt.
Yeah, once you start looking, you'll find it. Yeah. Great. Well, good luck. Hope you find the records you're looking for.
I will be on the lookout. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks so much for asking me. It's been a privilege, and really enjoyed chatting to you. And can't wait to see you in September. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. We're, like I said, my wife and I are pretty excited that this all came together, because we, I don't know if we would have been motivated and driven enough to do it on our own. So it got us motivated to do it, and we're really glad, because I think it's going to be a really great experience. So
yeah, definitely. And Tom's putting a lot of work into organizing. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And actually, I've got a bone to pick with him, because I know he's got a big project going on this summer that he told me he needed to stay focused on, and he's obviously involving himself in a million other things. So I'm going to have to chew him out. But I'll save that for a private Skype.
All right, probably best.
Okay, well, we look forward to meeting you in person in September, and thanks for coming on the show, and I hope things go well at your flea market this weekend and you sell a bunch of stuff.
Thanks so much. Nice speaking to you.
Okay, well, enjoy your evening.
Okay, you too. Thanks, bye.
Bye. So there we go. Thank you for taking the time to be on the show, Vanessa, and we look forward to meeting you in September. And for everybody else out there who's listening, the weekend of September 11th is the Elemental Arts Festival in Limerick, Ireland, and Kaylee and I will be out there with quite a few local sign people, including Vanessa and Tom Collins, and there'll be others joining us from other parts of the world, and there'll be a art exhibit. There'll be a screening of the film Sign Painters. I think they're going to have me do some kind of Q&A thing afterwards, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'll do it. So yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. And so if you are inclined or you're in the area, then come out and see us and say hello. And we will see you guys next week.
The Sign Painter is brought to you by the Big D Speed Shop in Dallas, Texas. You can find licensed apparel of Sean Starr's original designs at bigdspeedshop.com. The show is also brought to you by Full City Rooster Coffee Roasters, makers of the Sign Painter's Blend. Coffee that Sean drinks in the studio every day. Now shipping worldwide. FullCityRooster.com. Thanks for listening to Coffee with a Sign Painter, hosted by Sean Starr. You can find all sorts of info about the show and sign painting, including previous episodes, at our website, seanstarr.com.